Every device we buy is exciting, and they all come with their own cables and wires and accessories that eventually find their way to the dark corners of our living spaces, gathering cobwebs. Basically, we own a lot of cables. And they are a pain in the butt to find and untangle if you haven't kept them safely stored away. As a librarian, we kind of come to accept that with rampant use and mishandling, any cables we lend out will eventually need replacing. I've tested some methods for cable storage, and I've come up with a few ideas that I hope will help. The inspiration for this comes from my own experience at work. In smaller libraries with limited budgets, you just have to make do with what you have, or the cheapest alternative. This isn't necessarily the right way, just a way I found that works for myself, and hopefully inspires you. First, I bought an assortment of colored Velcro straps, so I could bind the loose cables. This will prevent them from getting tangled up with one another. The Velcro stops the bad habit of tightly wrapping cables around their power bricks or controllers, and letting them sit there like that for years. I've heard some people say you shouldn't do this, and some people say it doesn't matter. Either way, we want to bind these cables loosely so that they have room, but won't become a mess later. With some smaller, thinner cables, you can use the Velcro to wrap around nicely like this. Just remember to let the cables breathe. Don't tie these together tightly. Leave room for flex and movement. Here's a handy technique I've been using. Instead of trying to wrap these cables up and getting those bends or uneven coils, try this. Put them together, and instead of just wrapping it around, loop it under. If you watch here, it probably makes more sense than me explaining it. This keeps them neat, uniform, and less taut. This method is more helpful with longer cables, so if you have those really big HDMI cords lying around, feel free to try this out. It's called the over-under technique, and I found it really does make a difference. You can see I didn't really do this super pretty. That's okay. Stop worrying about stuff like that if you're just beginning. Remember, the most important thing here is practicality. Your personal taste will help form your aesthetics later. We need a place to store all of this. Before anything, measure out some of the biggest power supplies and cables. You don't want to buy something too small that can't fit anything, but you also don't want to buy huge storage tubs that are too big. For example, a Wii U power brick is about 1 3/4 inches tall. An Xbox 360 power brick is about 2 inches tall. So I got bins that were roughly 3 inches tall. Also, make sure there's room for their attached cabling. It won't matter much if the power supply fits, but these don't. I have a few small plastic art bins. Tall enough to store some of the big console power bricks, but also sleek enough that they can be stacked and easily put somewhere out of sight until they're needed. You don't have to do it this way. Make it work for you. I saw people online using old toilet paper rolls and putting their cables in there. Completely negates the need to go and buy other storage solutions while remaining sustainable. I know what you're thinking. This looks like an absolute mess. But look how easy it is to take these out now. No tangle at all. You can even label them if you want. You could put labels on the bins as well. For me, the colored Velcro straps let me know what belongs to what. Wii U is red because, well, you know. I want to emphasize, I am not some cable expert. These methods are for storage and preservation, so instead of wrapping your controller cables tightly and leaving them around, you store them in a way that gives them the best chance of staying alive. Also, these are methods I believe will help with easy access, so that when it's time to pull out that Nintendo 64 controller, it's tangle-free and easy to uncoil and put back when you're done. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.